I was brought from California to Michigan to start the Library of Congress Veterans History Project. The Library of Congress Veterans History Project was established where veterans would be interviewed and then they would be recorded for history, for our American history. And in the first few years, we did mostly World War II veterans, obviously because so many of them were passing away. So I wanted to expand the scope, if you will, of the Veterans History Project because a lot of people were misunderstanding it and thinking it was all about white guys with guns. And so I contacted the Library of Congress Veterans History Project director and I said, Rosie the Riveter was just recently put into the Library of Congress. What about Rosie the Right Fielder? And so once we got the approval that these interviews would actually go into the Library of Congress, that gave me the credibility, if you will, to be able to go out and get these interviews, not only for a documentary, but also for our history. The idea was actually come up in 2003 when I first came here. It was 2005 when I formally announced that I wanted to do this. And several years went by before I could get the funding to go to one of the reunions. And we ended up going to 2 of the reunions and got 47 interviews.
Well, I had Frank as a professor while I was a student at Grand Valley, and we worked on a few projects together, and after graduation, he offered me the job of editing this documentary. And I recognized right away that it was a project that was more than just a student film. It was a real documentary that made a difference. And so to get the chance to preserve the stories of these women, it was really an incredible offer. So it was something I couldn't pass up on. One of the most challenging parts, I think, was we get all of these stories, and with 46 interviews, some an hour, some to 2 hours long, how do you cut that down into a 1-hour documentary? And so I really learned how to be succinct in my storytelling, but also it's difficult cutting the things that you want to keep in.
Yeah.
So I learned quite a bit with actual making of the film process.
Because we're proud of the film itself, but I think we're equally proud of the fact that we preserved these stories before they were gone.